I'm Craven Van Candy. Like and subscribe and drop us a line.
Where's Agnes?
Yes, you know what time it is, boys and girls. Every December, we're handed the same stories. Snowflakes, Santa Claus, and happy endings by the fireplace. But behind the tinsel and the television specials lies another tradition, one no one tells you about. It's a tradition of fear. There are Christmas films so shocking, so unsettling, they were pulled from the shelves, banned on release, or simply left to rot in the attic of horror history. Stories where it's not jolly old St. Nick coming down the chimney, but something else, something evil, someone who's making a list. They don't have to check it twice, because they know already if you've been naughty or nice. Tonight, we're airing the ghost tape of Christmas. These are the 6 most disturbing holiday horror films they never wanted you to find. Films that twist childhood nostalgia into nightmares. Films that prove the darkest nights of the year are sometimes the most festive. Welcome to 6 disturbing Christmas horror films they did not want you to see. At number 1, Deadly Games, Dial Code, Santa Claus, 1989. Released a year before Home Alone, this French thriller follows Thomas, a tech-savvy 9-year-old living in a secluded mansion with his blind grandfather on Christmas Eve. But when a deranged mall Santa infiltrates the home, Thomas uses his homemade gadgets and booby traps to survive the night. The most disturbing scene? Thomas crawls under a giant table as the killer Santa enters. He walks slowly past the boy, boots scraping across marble. Instead of cartoonish antics, there's silence, just breathing. He wipes blood from his gloves onto the white tablecloth. When Thomas looks up, Santa is staring at him, head tilted, eerily calm. No music. Just a child realizing Christmas is officially over. Impact and legacy. Considered by many to have inspired Home Alone, though never officially credited, it was one of the first holiday horrors to blend home invasion with childhood innocence lost, influencing films like Better Watch Out from 2016. This one was rediscovered in cult circles, thanks to retro VHS trading and collectors of niche media. At number 2, Christmas Evil, 1980. Harry, a lonely toy factory worker obsessed with Santa mythology, takes his belief in Christmas morality a little too seriously. After seeing a co-worker act cruelly, Harry snaps, creating his own twisted version of Santa's naughty or nice system. Most disturbing scene. It's when Harry applies glue to his fake beard in front of a cracked mirror. He presses it to his face and begins sobbing, not out of fear, but out of joy, believing he's transforming into Santa. His tears mix with glue as it sticks. His eyes go vacant. It's the moment he loses himself. There are 2 more contenders for most disturbing scene. It's also the moment he smothers someone with a sack full of toys, eyes wide with deranged joy. In the ending where Harry flies off in his van into the night, his final delusion, Santa becomes legend or madness. Impact and legacy. One of the earliest psychological holiday horror films. Think Santa Claus is Coming to Town meets Taxi Driver. John Waters calls it the greatest Christmas movie ever made. It set the tone for morally driven killers in Christmas horror, paving the way for Silent Night, Deadly Night from 1984. And speaking of which, at number 3, not to be confused with Silent Night, Deadly Night, Silent Night, Bloody Night from 1972. a lawyer arrives to sell an abandoned mansion once used as a mental asylum. Unknown to him, an escaped patient ties directly to its dark past and returns to the house on Christmas Eve. Fog-filled roads, whispered phone calls, and vintage creepiness run amok in this Christmas horror thriller. The most disturbing scene, the 1950s asylum riot flashback, presented like silent film footage, jittery, blurry. Inmates set the asylum on fire. There's no screams, just the sound of bells as flames illuminate their silhouettes. It feels like watching old forbidden archives. Impact and legacy. This one predates Black Christmas by 2 years and Halloween by 6. Definitely has some proto-slasher in its DNA. Its influence can be felt in Black Christmas's phone calls and ghostly atmosphere. Considered part of the roots of Christmas horror, despite being criminally underrated. At number 4, Don't Open Till Christmas, 1984. Set in grimy London, a killer targets anyone dressed as Santa Claus during the holiday season. A series of shocking murders unfold in public places, turning Christmas cheer into Christmas fear. Definitely considered the sleaziest Christmas movie ever made. Most disturbing scene? Actually, I can't repeat that here on YouTube. They would probably throw me off, burn me, and throw me under the jail if I did that. So, a Santa performing at a variety show is stabbed on stage. The audience claps, thinking it's part of the act. Blood soaks through his costume as applause continues, but the camera lingers as realization dawns on the viewers, the laughter fading into horror. Impact and legacy. Injected grindhouse sleaze into Christmas horror, paving the way for the shock style of Silent Night, Deadly Night. First film where Santa is the victim, not the killer, and influenced UK's turn toward nastier Christmas horror in the 1980s. At number 5, To All a Good Night, 1980. Directed by David Hess from The Last House on the Left fame. Over Christmas break, a group of young female students stay at a finishing school. A killer dressed as Santa begins stalking them around the estate. Early slasher tropes, sometimes flawed and uneven, but very atmospheric. The most disturbing scene. The darkest moment comes when one of the girls proceeds into the bathroom to take a shower, completely unaware of what's waiting for her. Steam fills the room. Soft Christmas music plays faintly from a radio down the hall. She pulls back the curtain and finds her friend's severed head hanging upside down from the shower head. Blood pours down like water, streaking the towels red as the head swings gently. Eyes frozen in terror, the girl lets out an earth-shattering scream, and the music cuts. From the shadows, the figure dressed as Santa slowly emerges. But the Santa killer doesn't strike. Santa simply watches as her mind breaks. Instead of killing her, he leaves her alive, shattered. And for the rest of the movie, she wanders the halls singing eerily, dancing with invisible partners, lost in trauma. She's not killed. She's destroyed. It's one of the earliest holiday slasher scenes to suggest that psychological damage can be a fate worse than death, and it adds a deeply unsettling layer to the film's otherwise straightforward slasher formula. Impact and legacy. It was one of the first full slasher films set at Christmas, even preceding Silent Night, Deadly Night by 4 years, and helped to establish the Santa killer concept. Its tone influenced later slashers like New Year's Evil and April Fool's Day. Universally panned by critics and fans alike, I actually think this movie deserves a watch, especially if you're a slasher enthusiast like myself. It's not nearly as bad as everybody says it is, and it knows exactly what it is. A dumb, ridiculous slasher. No, this one's not high art, but it's a lot of fun. And you know what? There's a twist at the end, a double twist that you won't see coming. I recommend it. At number 6, Silent Night, Deadly Night, 1984. Silent Night, Deadly Night isn't just a Christmas slasher. It's the lightning rod of holiday horror. The movie that ignited protest was ripped from theaters and forever changed what people thought a Christmas film could be. Beneath the gore, the killer, the Santa gimmick, lies a surprisingly grim psychological descent, one built on trauma, repression, and the monsters adults create when they refuse to believe in them. The film opens on a note of pure dread disguised as holiday cheer. A young boy named Billy is traveling with his family to visit his catatonic grandfather in a Utah mental facility. Everyone assumes Grandpa is incapable of speech or thought, until the moment Billy is left alone with them. Grandpa's eyes snap open. He clutches Billy's arm, and in a raspy whisper he tells him the truth no kid should ever hear. Christmas Eve is the scariest damn night of the year. He tells Billy that Santa doesn't reward good children. He punishes the naughty. This moment alone plants the seed, fear mixed with folklore, a dark subversion of a childhood myth. But what happens next cements Billy's lifelong trauma. Later that night, the family encounters a man dressed as Santa whose robbery has gone wrong. Panicked and violent, the man pulls him over, shoots Billy's father, and brutally assaults his mother. Billy escapes, but what he sees burns itself into his memory. From this moment on, Santa Claus is a monster. Billy then grows up to become the embodiment of naughty must be punished. Billy goes on a killing spree that feels less like slasher indulgence and more like a tragedy, a violent exorcism of everything he's been forced to believe. Now for the most disturbing scene. The most infamous and most protested moment arrives when Billy breaks into a suburban home where a babysitter, played by the beautiful Linnea Quigley, is fooling around, of course, with her boyfriend. In a moment that shocked audiences, Billy lifts her effortlessly, pressing her back against a mounted set of deer antlers, and impales her, her blood dripping down the Christmas decor. The scene is brutal, lingering, and disturbingly quiet, a complete inversion of wholesome holiday imagery. Parents' groups exploded over the scene. Protests shut theaters down, and newspapers vilified the movie. But it cemented the film's legacy. And speaking of which, impact and legacy. Yes, Silent Night, Deadly Night changed Christmas horror forever. The controversy boosted its status. Parents may have protested, churches protested, even critics demanded it to be banned. Its TV ads were pulled after protests claimed it ruined childhood innocence. But this only made more people seek it out. It also revitalized the killer Santa trope. I mean, before this film, killer Santas existed, like Christmas Evil. But Silent Night, Deadly Night made the idea mainstream. It influenced the home video boom. After being pulled from theaters, its VHS release turned it into a massive cult hit, spawned sequels, and became a horror icon. The franchise continued with multiple sequels, including the famously meme-worthy Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. Who could ever forget? Garbage Day! And it paved the way for modern holiday horror. Films like Krampus, A Christmas Horror Story, and dozens of indie Christmas slashers all owe part of their existence to this movie, proving there was an audience for darker holiday films. See, it's not just the kills, it's the atmosphere of inescapable trauma. The film sticks with people because it attacks the innocence of Christmas. It blurs the line between victim and villain. Its disturbing family tragedy feels all far too real, and it forces us to confront a question. What if the thing you fear most puts on the costume everyone loves? Thank you for joining me. I'm Craven Van Candy. And to all of you, I know it's coming up, but we wish you all a very happy holiday season, of course. And wherever you may be, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Merry Christmas, and good riddance.